What is my first memory of NCSY? My first convention where I met a whole bunch of boys and girls, my age, some a little older, a lot of nice people, and just had a great time with them and enjoyed doing some Jewish things that had kind of been boring and tedious in the past.
I recall getting off the bus. I felt so comfortable and so at home, and before the event was over, I already had friends. There were young adults who were so nice and such wonderful role models. My first memories are really the people and the relationships that I formed.
I can remember my first board meeting that I had, being on the board, and all of the Shabbatonim that we attended, and the bus rides, and just being together with our friends and meeting new friends, and it was just a wonderful experience.
The second night of Sukkot, gathering in front of congregation as is Israel, for the annual NCSY Sukkah Hop. And it was always freezing cold, but we went to 6 or 7 sukkahs, and even though it was cold, there was always a warm feeling inside of us. Everyone enjoyed and anticipated that second night of Sukkah to go Sukkah hopping.
My earliest memory of NCSY is in 2008 Fall Convention in Memphis. Is right after I got off the bus. I had people running up to me saying, like, "What's your name? Where are you from? What grade do you in?" And it was an instant connection. My first Shabbaton, where there were 14 girls in one house, and I thought for my first Shabbaton that was like really crazy. I don't know any of these girls. It was actually like a really exciting time because like I got to talk to all the girls and we became really close after that.
There's no cookie cutter NCSYer. Everyone's really different. Everyone comes from different backgrounds. Everyone has different interests, and yet still we somehow all come together and have a really good time together.
My earliest memory of NCSY is being pulled by one of the junior advisors and dancing and singing during pre-Shabbos Ruach, and it was just an incredible experience.
I first got involved in NCSY because my friends were really involved. They started it freshman year and they were telling me it's amazing, you gotta try it. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I went on my first Shabbaton last year. It was Conclave and it was incredible.
I've never felt so close to people in my life. It's absolutely amazing. That's why I love coming back to NCSY for every convention because it feels like home.
Just as teenagers are searching for a greater connection with their heritage, with a greater spirituality, their parents are also.
My husband came to NCSY, and at some point he decided to keep Shabbos. He kept one Shabbos. His parents watched him carefully. They were so excited that he kept Shabbos. The next Shabbos, they kept Shabbos with him, and from then on, they kept Shabbos.
We have seen many, many families through the years who have followed the lead of their children. And today are Torah-observant families spanning 2 or 3 generations.
NCSY is constantly innovating, constantly creating cutting-edge programs that engage kids no matter what it is that they're looking for. When there's a teenager who becomes inspired at a program and they take that enthusiasm back home with them, that can have an impact on their siblings and on parents and grandparents.
When my sister used to do NCSY and I saw how committed she was and how much fun she had always going to conventions, and I really enjoyed seeing her having such a good time, and I wanted to be a part of something like that.
I feel like my children have actually influenced me. In their role through NCSY, have gotten involved in Yachad. And because of their excitement and their working with these children, I got involved too. And I started my own organization, Libenu, which is now the home to 6 young adults with special needs.
NCSY is changing lives, and it's changing generations of lives by influencing one person and the ripple effect that that can have on the rest of a family.
Sometimes the young teach the old.
The Pinkuses have been involved in NCSY for as long back as I can remember. And I was always impressed by the way they carried themselves, by the Torah that they taught to the NCSYers, and by how they lived their lives as Jewish role models in such a way that everybody wanted to learn from their example.
I remember sitting around the table with 9 Pinkus children, and when we finished singing Shalom Aleichem and Eishes Chayil, the children stood up and got in line in front of Paul for their weekly bracha. And each child got a special bracha and a special moment with their father. And that, as a 21-year-old, was a big impression on me. And I decided that when I was going to be a father, I would do the same thing with my kids. And my kids aren't going to see this video maybe, but the reason why I whisper something special in their ear every Friday night is because of that first experience in NCSY at the Pincus's house for that Friday night dinner.
I spent my first Shabbat there when I was, I believe, a junior in high school. And from the time I came back from studying in Israel, I pretty much was there on a regular basis. I would go as far as to say that their involvement in NCSY and the impact they've had on NCSYers is going to be responsible for the next several generations of Orthodox Jews, both in the United States and in Israel, because of the amount of people they've influenced and the positive way they've influenced them.
Every teenager knew that if they needed someone to talk to or if they needed a place to go for Shabbos, Mrs. Pincus was there. She just had such a warm presence.
I've seen teenagers as they grow up, and today they come to us for Shabbos with their own families and their children. It's very inspirational as you walk with these teens over the course of years and watch where they go.
Having a good Jewish foundation starts at home. NCSY supplements that to make sure they continue to hold on to their Jewish heritage and remembering where they're coming from. And I think that's extremely important, and I think that's a vital role that at least I see in my role in NCSY.
Senator Ira and Alderman Deborah Silverstein really embody the ideals that NCSY strives to impart in all the teenagers that we're working with.
I think NCSY can help shape our young adults into our future leaders. I see it from myself, from my children, how they started just in the chapter of NCSY and went on to regional board and took on leadership roles, and it's really important for them to have these experiences.
I'm currently on the NCSY Skokie chapter board. I am also a leader in my school, and I think this is because of what NCSY has provided me with.
Being on the regional board of NCSY and particularly vice president of juniors has given me a great leadership role and a lot of experience. It's my job to inspire them. They inspire me so much more back.
I have gotten so much from NCSY. I've grown as a person. I've had leadership roles. I've just changed, and I'm so grateful for all of that.
I feel like I'm a better person now and more religious and have a closer connection to God.
What people might not realize about NCSY is that it is really building blocks for our youth. They are shaping the next generation. And it's important to have an organization like NCSY to cultivate and build our leaders for tomorrow.
I met my wife in NCSY. I first started thinking about Judaism and being Jewish in a whole different fashion. That was the launching pad. That started me and is really, in some ways, in fact in every way, responsible for where I am and who I am today.
Together we must stand, one nation and an end. We are one people, we are one heart.
My children have grown socially and religiously. They've traveled around the Midwest. They've made tons of new friends. They've become leaders in their own chapter here. They go to the Shabbatonim and they sing and they dance and there's Ruach and the davening, and they just get so much out of it that it's really made a difference in their life, and I'm sure that it will continue to make a difference in their future.
There really is no experience in the world quite like an NCSY Shabbaton.
I think it's the ruach and enthusiasm that inspires me. Like before Shabbos, you just like feel that Shabbos is coming and there's this air of excitement and everyone's so enthusiastic about it and so genuinely excited.
As soon as like we start doing all the Shabbos activities, I was just like mesmerized. I was like, this is amazing.
I think what inspires us is seeing our kids being inspired, seeing our kids getting involved, coming home from the Shabbatons, being rejuvenated and excited and running to events. I think that's what excites us, and it's good to see that. It's beautiful to see that.
There's nothing as exciting as going to an NCSY event, especially a Shabbos weekend, and watch the light go on in the eyes of a child.
One of the important principles that Jews understand is Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Lezeh. All of us are guarantors for each other. And CSY is really an opportunity for all of us within the community to reach out to these teens.
NCSY has to continue and grow. It is our future. And it offers so much opportunity for our youth to carry on to later generations.
Everyone can benefit from NCSY and learn about yourself and feel more connected to God and your Judaism.
It not only helps you grow as a person, but it's your home away from home. It's like your second family.
The connections that I make in NCSY are so powerful and so strong.
Ivdu es Hashem b'simcha. And that's what NCSY is really all about.
For the next generation of NCSYers, I'd like to say to keep the ruach up and never let it go down, and just someday we will all be together.
Together we must stand, one nation hand in hand. We are one people, we are one heart. And united with our love, we become the Lev Echad. And this one light will be strong enough.